Okay, Summoners, welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Kangas, and oh baby, I got some exciting news for you. That's right, we here at ProGuides were recently informed about Rammus' upcoming rework, and we got some first insights as to what those actually are. And while these changes are still tentative, this is Riot's general idea of how our armadillo friend will look like later this year.
So, first up, what are the current problems with Rammus? Honestly, for most players, there isn't just one, as his statistics convey that he's currently actually doing fine. However, I have no doubt that all of us at least understand that he's a bit too linear, right? Sure, it's okay, as Rammus would say, but why settle for okay when he could be great? With these changes, Riot hopes to fix up Rammus' straightforward gameplay while keeping his power level the same and thus allow him to have some more viability in high elo as well. Because if there's one thing that will save challenger mentality, it's being reminded that everything is okay. So let's talk about the first changes to Rammus. The decision that Riot finally ended up with is that they want to accomplish their goals through his ultimate. Tremors isn't necessarily a weak ult, but it really feels underwhelming. Half the time you don't even notice it going off until you check the damage charts to see that he did indeed wreck you. Because they're planning on buffing up the ultimate though, they do need to trim some power elsewhere. His E is planned to have its duration increased against monsters by 250%. This will buff up his clear speed a bit, as the increased duration should also increase the attack speed buff on it as well. However, the cooldown will also be increased from 12 scaling down to 10 to 12 seconds at all ranks. His scaling will be a bit weaker, and especially his ability haste will be weaker because that's just worse than cooldown reduction. You're gonna have to make each taunt count during late game teamfights. Finally, the taunt duration is being cut down by 1/4 of a second, or from 1.25 to 2.25 seconds down to 1 to 2 seconds. Aside from cleaning up the numbers and making it easier to remember, this is another change aimed at taking a little bit of power away from Rammus to make room for his new ult. Unfortunately, this does mean that Rammus will be a bit weaker pre-level 6 against champions, but again, the double duration against monsters will definitely help him clear his jungle faster and also end it healthier than before. Now, the exciting changes to his ult. Riot proposed that Rammus, known for his need for speed, requires some extra tools to realize that fantasy. First off, his ultimate is going to receive a very noticeable change. Rather than just allowing him to create some tremors around himself, the ability is being rebranded as Soaring Slam. Yep, our boy is gonna fly. When cast, Rammus leaps into the air and slams down at the target location, slowing enemies who are within the landing radius. What's even cooler about this ultimate is it can also be cast during Rammus' Powerball, meaning he's got some new tricks up his sleeve. This increases Rammus' engage range significantly, and even high elo players are going to have to be careful against him now. If he uses his ultimate while in his Powerball, enemies near the center of it take the Powerball's damage and are also knocked up, ending Powerball's channel. Upon landing, Rammus generates 3 aftershocks at the target location, each one dealing damage and refreshing the slow. Like his current ultimate, you'll still be able to deal damage to turrets with Soaring Slam, and it'll actually deal 200% damage to them. One last change that makes this ability so exciting is that the range of it is increased based on your movement speed. So yes, being fast matters a lot, and now you can expect some crazy combos like a zillion Rammus to become even stronger than before as a result. Of course, because it's so much stronger, the cooldown will be increased from 100 to 60 seconds to 120 to 80 seconds. Definitely worth the trade-off though, and I'm really excited to see how well he does in high elo especially. Like we mentioned earlier, making Rammus viable in higher MMR was one of Riot's goals with this rework. I think changing his ultimate will definitely get the job done. Especially if he can use this ultimate to jump over walls, the possibilities are pretty much endless, and players can be much more creative with how they approach certain situations. Will he also be unstoppable during the leap? Based on these factors, the race changes altogether for our soon-to-be nimble buddy. For the best of the best, someone rolling at you really fast just isn't good enough. Good spacing, mediocre vision to spot him out, and decent disengage is all it takes to make Rammus currently irrelevant. He can't get in against good players, but these changes should at least make keeping him out much more difficult. In low elo, he's usually able to reach his targets with no problem, so it makes sense that Riot believes he won't be as much affected in low and mid elo.
And that'll wrap up those exciting changes that we expect to see for our friend Rammus. Are you excited about them as well? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. I love reading y'all's thoughts. But that's gonna wrap up this video. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, hit that sub button, check out our website to start dominating Season 11. But most importantly, keep yourself safe, keep yourself hydrated, and have a wonderful day. I was falling that whole time.